Greetings, dear friends. The world has been shocked by the Epstein files and the list of world leaders and world-class celebrities who appear in the files. The Epstein case exposes presidents, billionaires, religious and show business people. The Trumps, the Obamas, Biden, Harris, Clinton, Macron, Putin, Zelensky, Pope John Paul II, Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and many others. The list includes over 300 names of global elite representatives. The crimes described are monstrous: rape, pedophilia, murder, even cannibalism. For example, one of the victims, Katie Johnson, claimed that she was brutally raped multiple times by Trump, acting US president. The girl was only 13 years old at the time. Two separate individuals, calling the FBI years apart, made the same allegation. Girls were murdered at Donald Trump Rancho in California and buried on the property. These non-humans consider themselves to be superhumans, demigods who can do anything. In Russia, officials happily comment how terrible it is in the West, how depraved and evil politics are there. Putin once said, quote, "For centuries they've been accustomed to filling their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money," unquote. Sergei Lavrov, Russian foreign minister, put it, "pure satanism." Yet the current Russian system of power was built by the US elite. Indeed, in 1993, American CIA carried out coup d'etat in Russia, their actions being ensured by then Russian President Boris Yeltsin. The Presidential Library of Bill Clinton has declassified more than 1,000 documents related to Russian-American relations in 1990, and the released archive includes previously classified transcripts of conversations between then US President Clinton and then Russian President Yeltsin. According to the transcript of September 8, 1999, Yeltsin told Clinton about his future successor, Vladimir Putin, which was well before elections, right? During the conversation, which took place on November 19, 1999, Clinton returned to the topic of succession and asked Yeltsin who would win the election. Of course, Putin, Yeltsin replied, quote, "He will be successor. He is a Democrat and knows the West," unquote. Quote, "He is very smart," unquote, Clinton responded. Why did the US care so much to set their protege to be the president of Russia? Well, one of the reasons was to get Russia's resources through puppet rulers and therefore to rob the Russians. To ensure control, they did this in secret. A sham of quarrel between Russia and the US has been acted out. Yet resources from Russia have been extracted by the US so far, and therefore there is no quarrel, as a matter of fact. Current Russian elite was set by American elite and profess the same principles and follow the same lifestyle. That is, its exclusivity in laws and permissiveness. So Epstein's files disclose the pedophilic nature of American elite. But what about Russia? What about Russian elite? I guess there are a lot of people around the world who consider Putin to be nearly saint, to be savior of the world. But what do Epstein's files tell us about Putin? It seems Putin met Epstein, and according to a special agent's report, Epstein was Putin's wealth manager, which is interesting in itself. On the other hand, there are a number of Russians who obviously were assassinated because they knew or intended to go public with evidences proving that Putin is pedophile as well. For example, Alexander Litvinenko, former FSB officer, wrote that Putin was filmed in a safe house in bed with two little boys. Following this, several criminal cases were opened against Litvinenko in Russia. Litvinenko and his family fled to the United Kingdom, where he received political asylum and died. The cause of his death was polonium poisoning. Artem Borovik, editor-in-chief of top-secret newspaper, also wrote about Putin's sexual perversions a week before his mysterious death. There are numerous photos of Putin at public events stroking boys' backs. There was much publicized story of little boy Nikita whose stomach Putin kissed in front of an stunned audience. It turns out that the FSB's internal security department had a video recording of Putin having sex with underage boys. According to the materials of the investigative team headed by Lysenko and Katchev, the deputy prosecutor general of Russia, Putin created an entire system of selling children abroad through the orphanage in the central district of St. Petersburg. Vladimir Volodin, Russian State Duma speaker, it turns out gets children, including infants from orphanages, to his dacha in Saratov region. The perverts rape children there, and the whole region knows about that. And there are more cases of pedophilia among Russian top officials. That's why recently the people of Russia have demanded investigation into the blatant immorality of Russian top officials. Russian people strongly believe that pedophiles have no place in power. One more interesting thing related to a connection of Epstein with Russian authorities. Sergei Belikov is mentioned in Epstein files. Belikov is a graduate of the FSB Academy, FSB being the principal security agency of Russia. Belikov served as Russia's Deputy Minister of Economic Development in 2012-2014. And what do we know about him? Belikov repeatedly helped Epstein to obtain visas to Russia. Belikov provided Epstein with a dossier on a Russian woman who, according to Epstein, attempted to blackmail a group of influential businessmen. Belikov reported to Epstein about Belikov's work for the Russian government. In 2011, the Moscow public organization Wimpel was listed as Epstein's host organization, Wimpel being an organization of veterans of the secret FSB unit Wimpel. I consider the situation outrageous, and so do my compatriots. But should we be surprised about similar deviations in elite of different countries, considering that official top leaders of Russia were set by US elite, not elected by Russian people? Every person is driven by their ideology. Although Trump, Putin, Zelensky are presidents of different countries, they are united by a single ideology, the ideology of Chabad. Conservative radio talk show host Mark Levin called President Trump the nation's first Jewish president during Hanukkah party at the White House in 1920. Quote, "It's an honor to be here with the first Jewish president of the United States," Levin said. "And if he isn't, he should be," unquote. Trump smiled in response to the reference. Trump conducts his affairs and military operations in partnership with Israel. Trump once said that he will always support Jews in everything. In 2017, Trump, on the advice of his daughter Ivanka and her husband, the influential Chabad member Jared Kushner, converted to Judaism and joined Chabad organization. There are claims by Orthodox Jews that Trump is Messiah. Rabbi Berger, quote, "I knew that Trump would win the election. Donald Trump in Gematria equals 494, which is the same as Moshiach ben David, Messiah from the house of David. This connection was so evident in Trump's connection with Jerusalem that in 2018, a coin was minted with the profile of Trump." Rabbi Fish, quote, "Gematria of the name Donald Trump is 424, equivalent to the numerical value of the phrase Messiah of the house of David. Trump has red hair and reddish skin. King David, the Messiah's ancestor, was also often described as redhead," unquote. Zelensky is a Jew and makes no secret of that. He was ranked among the most influential Jews in the world. He is a protege of Igor Kolomoisky, an influential Chabad member. Zelensky received millions of dollars from Chabad members Kolomoisky, Akhmetov, and Pinchuk. Putin is Jew On his mother's side, as documented by Soviet papers, oligarch Boris Berezovsky spoke of Putin's Jewishness. Quote, Putin will move to Israel and receive Jewish citizenship as an ethnic Jew on his mother's side. Unquote. Rabbi Aaron Rakefet Rotkov, who calls himself an agent of Israeli intelligence in Russia, says, "Today Chabad rules Russia. Putin is a true Chabadnik." So we can see that leading global figures are united by a single ideology. And what is this ideology? Chabad is not shared by all Jews. Professional scholars have studied Chabad's holy book Tanya and concluded that Chabad's teaching are racist and religious extremist. Chabad believes that the world was created exclusively for Jews and that only they possess a divine soul. All other peoples, the Goyim, are unclean, literally vomit and excrement. And therefore the Jewish Messiah, Moshiach, demands Chabad exterminate the unclean Goyim. Edward Cordes, former head of Kharkiv Jewish community, said, quote, "For Chabad members, the apotheosis of world history is the destruction of all life on earth. With the exception of millions of Jewish soul sparks, which will unite into the primordial 600,000 pure Jewish souls and begin the process of eternal soaring above the desolate earth." Unquote. Journalist Tatiana Krotova, who worked as the secretary for Chabad Rabbi in Russian Perm, said, quote, "Chabad members are obsessed with the idea of destroying the world. They shouldn't be underestimated. They are fanatics. They have a clear idea, which is as follows. According to Tanya, God created the world for 6,000 years. It's currently 5783 according to the Jewish calendar. So Chabad members want to accelerate the destruction of the world." So this is the ideology behind Chabad and consequently behind Chabad's members, including Trump, Putin, and Zelensky. They also are moving the world toward a single new world order. And Trump is obviously dreaming of becoming the one world ruler, Mashiach. What can we do? We can and must express our distrust in all the world's shadow rulers and their puppets. Dismissing those we don't trust is our legal right and legitimate democratic process. Include the hashtags in your posts: Stop Globalism, Dismiss Presidents Who Serve Globalists, sign the petition. Record and distribute videos expressing your distrust of such rulers. Build real democracy. Unite with like-minded people in councils. Take your step toward freedom. Thank you.